dog was doing something silly.
Ah,
And so I'm talking to her, and I look at the corner of my eye, and like thinking, "Uh-oh, what's she doing?"
I love it.
Yeah,
All right. Looks like we're live on our social media.
yay!
So I'm going to invite everyone to mute and just stand by for our opening song.
Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light. You are beautiful just the way you are. Step into the love. You're illuminated by the glory of God's love. Step into the truth. From within, your abundance overflows. Our love can change one life. One life can change the world. Step into the light. Step into the love. Step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light. Step into the love. Step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. So move with me, step with me, step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. So move with me, step with me, step into the light.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, beloveds, and welcome to Vida Spiritual Learning Center. I am a sunshine day, and what a joy it is to greet you on this first Sunday in April. We are just delighted to have each and every one of you here with us, present and accounted for. Presente, presente. How wonderful it is. I just want to acknowledge that last night, we entered into the 1 month season of Ramadan. For those in our Islamic and Muslim communities, this is high holy days and high holy times, a time of reflection, a time of making amends and asking for forgiveness, and a time for repairing harms that we have caused. And so it's in that spirit of recognizing all faith traditions throughout the world that I invite you to remember our vision and mission statement. And that is that by valuing and empowering all, we inspire a fulfilling and joyous life. a valorar y potenciar todo. Inspiramos una vida plena y alegre. And it is to this consciousness that I welcome you today, that we value and empower all. So I'm going to invite us to begin to just settle into our seats, to settle in wherever it is that we are, because we are about to engage in our spiritual practice, more spiritual practice. Our Sunday mornings are filled with spiritual practices. These are life-affirming practices that remind us of the truth of who we are. And today, as we do most first Sundays of the month, we have our beloved Jan Hartman to lead us in a meditation and then to open us up in prayer. So please surrender your hearts, your minds, your environment to the loving arms of Jan Hartman.
Ooh, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So in order to be fully aware of our greatness, the greatness that we are, April brings us a message of yes, saying yes, knowing that every single thing that we do that comes our way brings us joy, brings us peace, and opens our hearts. And that joy and that heart time is here for you. What a gift, right? Here at Vida Spiritual Learning Center, our spiritual practices center us in the recognition that everything is ours for a magnificent life now. Meditation is a time that we use to, first of all, remember that our true essence calls to us, sometimes soft, sometimes big and powerful, but always calls, guiding us to acceptance, joy, and love, to yes. So pause with me. Let's move into this still time now. Your eyes closed if you choose, or a soft gaze. You know the perfect path. You always do. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in that breath of God, and breathing out all that is. Settling, sitting in that calm stillness. Breathing in, breathing out. Sit with the beloved now and know deeply who you are. Claim your unique essence. Claim this place that calls, inviting you into the wonder that is you. Be more of who you are right now. Something is calling you. It is your true essence. It calls you from your past as well as from the future. It is your spiritual power. You can sense it and feel it. And even if you might feel yourself resisting it just for a moment, you are responding to the call to embrace who you are right here and right now. Oh, remember your essence. Know that you are on your path. There is no need to even ask for a description. It is you. Each moment follows the previous moment. All of your successes and challenges, your questions, your searching have brought you to right here, right now. Don't question or evaluate this moment. Enjoy it. Enjoy you. Accept it. Accept you. It has taken you all of your life to get here. Relax. Trust the essence that has brought you into the joy of saying yes to everything that is you. Relax. Enjoy. Relax and know that you will always receive your next lesson, and you will know it when you receive it. Fill your heart with grace and trust your beloved right here and right now. And now, dear ones, ever so gently, begin to collect the blessings that you just received during this time. Return yourself to your surroundings, to your renewed self, right here in this pleasant and present moment. Look around you and see the joy of souls of a like mind. Relish the rest of this service and this time together. And please join my heart in prayer. You're refreshed, trusting that you are unified with your source, knowing to your depth that the divine is the creator of all, always. I am, you are, we are eternally connected with all that God has ever expressed, and all of it is good and perfect. We are whole. It's all God. Each and every unique expression of God is good and part of the essence of life that God is. So I, you, we are the divine community. And we now lean into Reverend Sunshine's message today. So thankful for the love that pours forth from each of us, making a divine commitment to be inspired, every desire ever desiring, to offer ourselves to the world and creating more peace and more joy and more love. I am surrendering. Oh, I'm surrendering. How do I surrender? These words that I speak into the law and into the love that is God. I know it complete. I feel it complete. Joyful and so very good. And so it is, and now it is.
Wow, Jan, thank you. Wow. Being centered in the divine, there's nothing quite like it. Thank you. All right, so we have some announcements this morning. And the one thing that we always want to remind ourselves of is the wonderful adventures that we have here at Vida. And on Reverend Sunshine is leading her spiritual remedy. And that's Mondays at 9 a.m. and available on Vida SLC Facebook Live. We also have coming up the CSL's Teen Summer Camp, and it's in person this time. And it's going to be held at the Camp Cedar Ridge in Veronia, Oregon. And that's going to be July 6th through the 13th. And the cost is going to be $525. Registration will be from May 6th through June 6th. And for more information, visit csl.org/teencamp. All right. And of course, we give thanks for all the folks who bring us this wonderful service today. And we highlight our practitioner of the day, Jan Hartman, for that wonderful meditation that we just had. And of course, we look forward to an inspiring message from our spiritual leader, Reverend Sunshine, as she brings us into the month of April. Looking forward to that. We thank our live stream moderators who keep track of what's going on Facebook and on YouTube. And of course, our leadership council. And those are the folks who keep the ship right and moving forward. And we really thank them. And we get our inspiration musically from our music team. And they're part of this divine service that we have. And of course, we do it all for you. And thank you for joining us this day. And another spiritual practice that we take part in is the spiritual practice of giving. And we appreciate all the donations that you share with our community. And you may send your gift to our mail address, which is 3350 East 7th Street, number 529. And that's Long Beach, California, 90804. You can also use your bill pay service, as you might use for some of your monthly payments. You can use the donate buttons that will be on our website and in the chat, and that's for credit card and debit payments. And you can also use the Zelle service if you have that with your bank, and all you need is our email address, which is vida@vidaslc.org. And so, as we continue on with this spiritual practice of giving, I would invite you all to unmute and let's say together our affirmation. So, ready? Here we go. Abundance
Abundance
flows
flows
in
in
my
mi
life.
vida.
I am
I am
blessed
Soy
blessed
with
with
bendecido con
prosperity.
prosperidad.
I
I
give
Doy
give
con mi
with
generosity.
sentimiento de
generosity.
Yes.
generosidad.
Yes.
I
Sí,
tithe
I
on
tithe
faith
on
diezmo
faith,
belief,
sobre la
belief,
fe
with a
y
and with
la
a
consciousness of love.
consciousness
creencia.
of love.
My gift is a
My
divine
divine
Mi
gift
circulation
regalo es la
through
that
me
now
circulación
benefits
now
divina a
both
través
benefits
our
de
and
mí,
grows
spiritual
our
ahora
spiritual
community
beneficia y
community
hace
and
crecer
and
beyond.
beyond.
nuestra comunidad y más
And
allá.
now it is.
Y ahora
And
es.
now it is.
All right. Well, take it away, Reverend the Spirit.
I'm walking in the Spirit, walking in the Spirit, walking in the Spirit. Spirit of one God, loving in the Spirit, loving in the Spirit, loving in the Spirit of one God, moving in the Spirit. Oh, I'm moving in the Spirit. Oh, the Spirit. Oh, God. Growing in the Spirit. Every day I'm growing in the Spirit. Growing in the Spirit. The Spirit. The Spirit. Oh, God. Knowing in the Spirit. Knowing in the Spirit. Knowing in the Spirit. The Spirit of wonder. Singing in the Spirit. I lift my voice and sing, yeah. In the Spirit. Oh, I lift my voice and sing, yeah. In the Spirit. Oh, the Spirit. The Spirit of one God. The Spirit of one God.
Hello, hello, hello. So we have been on a yearly quest to talk about everyday wonder. And every day I wonder why we're doing everyday wonder. Because the tendency can be for us to be caught up in the world of effects. I know in my counsel with community members and people in the greater community, folks have been talking about how depressed, how sad, how downtrodden they have been. Comments like, we haven't even gotten out of COVID good enough, and here we are in a full out, war happening and famine and things that are continuing to happen, not only across the world, but even here across the country. That even still, after being quarantined and sheltered in place and at home, one would think that we spent enough time in our rooms reflecting and that we would come out of our rooms, out of our homes, behaving in a better way, or loving more deeply, or being together in ways that we haven't been before. And look at us, look at the world. People have been quarantined and now they're just out showing out and not behaving properly. And I say that with a little bit of humor, yet recognizing the depth of the sadness that sometimes people are feeling. And as we look at this theme, everyday wonder for the entire year, living everyday wonder, there is still this opportunity for us to pause and recognize the everyday wonder. That that we are creative intelligence and that our thoughts are creative. So it's no wonder that for the month of April, we're looking at the theme of creativity. It's no wonder that we're looking at saying yes to the yes. Yes to the yes. That's what we're about to embark upon. Say yes to the yes. Now, I want to bring us to a quote from Raymond Charles Barker in Spiritual Healing for Today, page 59. Raymond is quoted as saying, "We don't call upon the name of Edison to turn on the lights or the name of God to turn on power. We need only recognize it and know that it is there." So right away, we're simply jumping into this idea of creativity, this idea of power. Right away, we're jumping into this idea that we are creative and that right where we are, the power, the presence of life is, that creativity is who we are, and that which we create is actually the creation. But we are creativity. We are the act. Creativity is the act of expression. We are the expression. So we are technically the expression of, so we are the creation or the creatures even. I know people don't like to be called creatures. But we are the creation of life. And as the creation of life, we are creative and we are creativity. The question is are you utilizing your creativity? Now, what I want you to know right off the bat is that irrespective of your years on this planet, your creativity is not something that diminishes with time. Oh, I lost my creativity. Oh, at this age, I've worn out all the creativity I was born with. That is an impossibility, because creativity is who we are. We are the act of expression. And as that act of expression, we have that power and that presence to begin to create. Now, what's interesting to me is that many people use their creativity in ways that are beneficial to humanity and the planet. And many people use their creativity to benefit themselves and only themselves. And when we have that power to create, when we are in that present flow of our creativity, we are actually fully alive and fully present. I know that Bertha loves it when I say, you are the unique and unrepeatable way that you are the unique and unrepeatable way that life shows up on this planet, that you are magnificent and powerful and creative and brilliant, that is who you are. And so when I think about all of the major religions, and when I think about even just spirituality, which is much bigger than religion, by the way, when I think about spirituality and when I think about humanity and all of creation, I'm always brought back to the place that there is a power, a presence, an infinite intelligence. And this power and presence, through the act of creativity, created everything out of itself, from within itself, because it is the only thing that is. It has created all. Therefore, that which is true of life, that which is true of God, is true for each and every one of us. Now, I want to remind us that because this is the truth of who we are, that I am the creation of the infinite creative intelligence, that I too am creative. So the question now becomes super, super personal right here, right now, and keeping it super, super simple. My question is how are you designing and or creating your life? What are the steps that you're taking to allow that expressive impulse within you to come forth? And what are you creating? Now, I can tell what I'm creating based on the creation itself. So, I have a roof over my head. I can eat. I enjoy the company of friends in my life. I have family that I love. You can probably say the same. Here's the fruits of my labor. Here's the fruits of my creation. The outpicturing of whatever surrounds you comes as a direct result of our creativity. Now, when circumstances and situations arise, are you utilizing your creativity to make the most out of that situation? I know that sometimes we have challenges in life and then we try to figure it out. We try to figure it out. What am I supposed to do here? I don't even know. Or, at this age, my arm doesn't work like it used to, or this doesn't work like it used to, or, and we find ourselves giving up. We find ourselves not utilizing our creativity as the possible solution, that the creation can be a solution to some of the challenges that we face. It's interesting because when I do counsel and when I'm with people in session, sometimes they do not see a way out. And I'm not the way out. I'm super clear that I am not the way out. But like Jesus the Christ, I am a way shower. In other words, I can show you and guide you to be in touch with that power and that presence that reveals to you the divine creativity that you are. In other words, people come to me sometimes for the answer and the solution. And fortunately, I have the wherewithal to remind folks that the solution to all of our daily living problems is a conscious contact with the creative intelligence that created us in the first place. That it is indeed through our spiritual practices that we indeed are in touch with the solutions to all of our daily living problems. You see, I remind myself that I am the unique and unrepeatable way that God is showing up in human form. And as so, I have the right and I have the opportunity through my daily practices like meditation, sitting still, sitting quiet, maybe taking that problem or that situation and just simply leaving it at the altar of my meditative practice, being still, slowing down, being silent enough to hear that indwelling power and presence speak to me in a language that I understand. I can use that daily practice of meditation to ignite the creativity for the solutions of my daily living problems or of challenges that come forth. I can use my prayer, my treatment, my affirmation to remind myself of the truth, to simply call forth and remind myself that I and within me are the answers. I can do that through my study and my reading, through my spiritual education, which is what we are all about at Vida Spiritual Learning Center. We're about spiritual education so that we're enlightened, that we're enhanced enough to remember these truths. I can review my journal or put in a new journal entry. I can engage in visioning and simply call forth to be revealed within me the grand divine idea for my life at this stage of my life. And of course, we have these weekly spiritual practices that we engage in, like being in the beloved community where we're reminded of the truth of who we are. So it's interesting to be able to recognize that creativity is the act of expressing. What are you expressing? Time to make the donuts. Time to make the donuts. Oh, it's time to do this again. Oh, what's the use? Or, wow, it's time to make the donuts. I wonder what new recipe? I wonder what little pinch of this, or let me be with this for a moment. Let me see if I could actually cut this up and create something new. I think that's where all of these other not a croissant, but like I remember Sunny one day in her divine creativity made a skookie. You might say, what's a skookie? Well, a skookie is a scone and a cookie. So some kind of combination, and she made a skookie, and, necessity is in fact the mother of all creation. It is that opportunity where if we allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough, but also to stand in our power, that we know that God is the answer to everything. We know that there is a way out of no way, and it seems like a way out of no way, but that way has been there and is always there because there's infinite possibilities. That when there is a necessity, an amputee says, I don't have an arm, but I want to paint, and begins to paint using their feet, their toes, their mouth, or the way prosthetics have come about. This is all creativity. Are we utilizing our creativity, or are we saying, what's the use? Thomas Choate says, you are the individualized spirit. Therefore, what you contemplate as the law of your being becomes the law of your being. That's how creative and powerful you are. If you say you can't, then you can't. That's the way creativity works. And so in conversation the other day, I was reminded again of the doom and the gloom, reminded of the wars, reminded of people suffering, and how sometimes folks come to me feeling very powerless. How do I participate? How do I enjoy my life when there's all of this stuff happening? And it's not that we're insensitive, and it's not that we're saying, don't look at it, it doesn't exist. What I have the opportunity to do is to create peace in my own mind, to see peace in the world, to see peace in my body, to see peace around me, to call forth peace in my own life as a result of my spiritual practices, to call forth love in my experience, to call forth abundance. The question becomes, do you feel that you are worthy of it? Are you worthy of it? Eric Butterworth says, demonstration is not working magic. So when we actually create and we demonstrate, or we outpicture, or that which is around us is already a demonstration. When you create a parking spot for yourselves, or you attract that divine mate, that demonstration is not working magic. There's nothing magical about it. And it's not working miracles. It's not that we as metaphysicians have some kind of wand, even though I'd like to think that I have a wand. It's not that we're working magic or miracles. It's releasing your imprisoned splendor, because you were born with splendor. You are the creation of the Most High. Therefore, that which is true of life, that which is true of God, that which is true of higher power is the truth of you, because that is the creative intelligence that you come from. So that means that which is true of life, of God, is the truth about you. And right where you are, you have imprisoned this divine splendor. So what is it that you think you want or you need that you have not received, or that you have not created for yourself? The idea then is to release this imprisoned splendor, that it is already within you. It is already there. David J. Walker, You Are Enough, says, you are worth more than you will ever experience. But you will only experience what you think you are worth. Ouch! 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 I might not think so highly of myself, I hear so often. Because somehow or another, I'm having challenges creating or releasing my splendor. And that's why I point you back to your daily spiritual practices, that you might recognize the truth of who you are, that you might remember that you are the unique and unrepeatable, magnificent, powerful, abundant, splendid way that life, that God shows up in human form. See, God is the yes, aka life is the yes. Will you say yes to the yes? Will you say yes to the yes? and saying yes to the yes. Life is the yes. Will you say yes to life? Will you say yes to releasing the splendor that is within you? Will you say yes to admitting that you're still stuck in beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve you? Will you say yes to a daily spiritual practice? Will you say yes to the reconnection, the conscious reconnection with consciousness? Will you say yes to allowing your conscious to be your guide? Will you say yes to that splendor and that creativity that lives within you? I love it when Joel Osteen says that in the cemetery, that millions and millions and trillions and gazillions of dollars of ideas are buried in the cemetery because people like you and me that are living and breathing did not say yes to the creativity that would have made a difference on our planet. So, beloveds, I implore, I encourage, I invite you. And for those of you who need a little more, I direct you to engage in your daily spiritual practices, that you might remember the truth of who you are. I love it when Ernest Holmes says to show me 1,000 people who are practicing this thing, right? That within our consciousness, we actually can change the world. We change through our vibration, through our knowing, the experience that right now, if 1,000 of us got together and actually began to vision and meditate and to know peace as our life, that there would actually be peace in the world, that the energetic and the vibration of our consciousness is so powerful and so present that we can use our creativity so that humanity can lay down its weapons of mass destruction. But first, we must lay down our weapons of mass distraction and focus on our daily spiritual practices, that we might know our life as the life of God, and that we begin to create and utilize the creativity that we are to bring forth a world that works for all. So let's go into prayer. As I close my eyes, I invite you, if it's safe around you, to close your eyes. Grateful to know that, as Rocco Errico says, that I am a chip off the old block, that I am a chip off the block of God, that I am the unique, unrepeatable way that spirit shows up in human form. How grateful I am to know that there is a power, a presence, a life that has created everything out of itself. Grateful to know that this power, that this presence is infinite, it is eternal, it is love, it is abundance, it is peace, it is power. It is all. Place of knowing that I am having and living, and that I am the chip off the old block, that is exactly who I am. I simply anchor in that, knowing that my source is limitless, and that includes my creativity and the creativity of this spiritual community. How grateful I am to know that this is the truth for all of the expressions of spirit, that everything is coming together for our highest good. And so I simply give a thanks. I give thanks already for the abundance, for the peace, for the health and the wholeness. I give thanks that we are a part of this one divine life, and that by valuing and empowering all, we live a joyous and fulfilling life. Grateful that this is our truth. Grateful for this reminder to be continuously in our spiritual practice, that we might know that our life is the life of source, that we might create and cause peace upon our planet, upon our experience, upon all. I simply give thanks. I give thanks now and forevermore for the abundance, the peace, the joy, the health, the wholeness, the community, and the growth of our community, Vida Spiritual Learning Center. For this and so much more, I give thanks, and I let it be so, and I allow it to transform my hearts and minds as it transforms the hearts and minds of all. It is so, and so it is, and now it is. Amen. And this being, thank you, beloveds. Thank you for that energy of love that I feel right now. And with that same energy of love, it being the first Sunday of the month, we get to celebrate April birthdays. And it's interesting because the way I like to spell birthdays is capital B apostrophe and earth, EARTHDAY, the day that we appeared on the planet. So I'd like to simply open it up to those of us on social media and those on Zoom to let me know who has a birthday in April. I know for sure Jan Hartman just celebrated a birthday on April the 1st. How many other folks or family members? Okay, so our friend Deborah has a birthday this month. Unmute for those of you on Zoom and type it into the chat if you're on Facebook or YouTube.
My niece Jennifer and my great nephew Ryder. All
Beautiful.
April.
All in April. Excellent. Any more April birthdays? Okay, I will tell you that my birthday is in April. This year it falls on a Wednesday, April the 13th. So I'm excited about celebrating another rotation. And then Ilma says that her sister celebrated a birthday on April 1st, just like Jan.
Oh, good.
That's wonderful.
Cool.
Okay, well, we get to sing happy birthday out loud or in our hearts. And in place of the name, we say we love you. So here we go. Take it away, maestro. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Mwah. And may you live long and prosper. All right, beloveds, it is now time for our closing prayer. Our closing prayer is a song. So I invite you now to simply sing with us as we do our closing prayer. And as a reminder, you can pray with a practitioner after service.
This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. We lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our
birth and multiply this consciousness. We'll see you all again next week.